Hey guys, what's up? This is Cody Miller coming at you with yet again another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at these iPod shuffles. So, 2 days ago, July 27th, Apple quietly discontinued the iPod Shuffle and the iPod Nano, removing them from their website and the online store. They did this without any announcement. However, what this means is that Apple has quietly pulled the plug on these devices, which kind of makes sense because I can't remember the last time I saw someone running around with an iPod Shuffle. So naturally, when I got the news that they had been removed from the lineup, I went out to try and buy one of every color. Unfortunately, I was only able to find them in silver, so I just bought 2 of them. Now some people actually complain that these devices are failures, because they only come in 2GB options. But as far as I'm concerned, this is perfectly acceptable. Because since these don't have a screen, you're not going to sit there and shuffle through 20,000 songs. So easily, these things can hold probably about 500 songs, no issue. 250 definitely, which honestly I consider to be quite acceptable for something that doesn't have a screen that you can shuffle through. So I'm going to open one of these up, and we're going to take a look at what is inside the now dead iPod. Now this shouldn't be too much of a surprise. A lot of people have already opened these throughout the years, but just kind of as a proper send-off, I really want to just take a look at these. So we've got this nice little pull tab here, and pull that to latch it off of its little plastic thing here. There it goes. It's just like a little strap. So here we are. We have our, of course, clip here. And that sounds like it's actually aluminum. I thought this was all plastic. Yes, you have your play pause button, your volume up, your volume down, skip back and forth, play and pause, which you can see how this, sitting there doing that, for more than, 500 songs would be annoying, because you'd be like, oh my god, I just want to listen to Fall Out Boy, but I gotta skip 7 million times to get to them because I'm currently listening to Michael Jackson. Quite curious as to whether this thing has any power on it or not. So what else do we have in this box? We have designed by Apple in California, which is pretty common. It just opens up there. Start here. Let's dump all those contents out. We got the start here guide. Oh, you actually have an Apple sticker. One miniature little Apple sticker. I think it's, yeah, the Apple sticker is actually bigger than the shuffle is. I didn't even know these came with Apple stickers, or an Apple sticker. Is there a second one? No, just the one. So you do get an Apple sticker. I didn't realize that. Of course, you have your important information about your 1-year warranty on a non-iOS iPod, which is, of course, anything that's not an iPod Touch. No one's going to read that. So have your Start Here guide, which tells you everything. So you got off, and then you shuffle as if you put it in the center, which is actually harder to do than you might think. Okay, there it is. So that's shuffle. No, that's play in order. Okay. So we have off, play in order, and then completely on is shuffle. I guess there's this light here. Got a voiceover button. Right now the light is not on at all. So that means it's deader. And a doorknob to install iTunes, have all that jazz. Alright, and then we should also have, yep, right here, this is how we're going to be syncing data and charging the device. So this is just going to go into the headphone jack because the shuffle was too small to have a USB port. So what it uses is actually the headphone jack to charge it, as well as sync music to it. So this, it sounds weird from like a tech perspective, but really when you think about a dial-up modem, obviously it's not too out of line. You do have 4 pins here. You just need to set up some kind of like protocol for the software to utilize that. Actually, that brings up a really good question about whether or not I could somehow rig up a way to sync music over to it with an auxiliary cable. That would be quite an interesting little video. It doesn't stand up with it attached. And of course, so what we also have here is we have the super old, this shows you the last time that this was properly updated, the super old Apple Earpods. If you look at the ones that we have now, they're like this, so you can see how much difference there is. So these were like the ones that you saw way back when with the old iPods, which actually I guess makes it a true proper iPod. So the only thing left to do now is to plug it into my MacBook and see what happens. Alright, where did I put it? Oh yeah, here it is. Alright, so now let's just plug this in using the world's smallest USB cable. Probably the most rigid as well. This thing is pretty rigid. So the answer to the question earlier is that both the iPhone 7 and the iPod Shuffle both charge and play music over the same port. Alright, so we can see here on the desktop it showed up as iPod, which I don't think is going to let us drag and drop stuff onto it, but it might. So, as you can see, iTunes is saying, welcome to your new iPod. And yeah, so clearly mine is that pink one right there, which wasn't available. So one thing that I'm curious about is like, what's going to happen with this screen whenever in a couple more years, because right now it doesn't even show the iPod Classic, it just shows the iPod Touch, the, what is this? This is the Nano, and this thing, the Shuffle, the thing we're talking about right now. Yes, of course I have read that and will agree to it. Okay, so our capacity is 1.88 gigabytes. Serial number is that. So I don't expect the MP3 decoder to be that great. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 192 kilobits per second because that's generally what I find to be acceptable for most songs. I'm not going to use voiceover, I think that's dumb. So I guess our software is up to date on version 1.0.2. Check for an update again on this date. So I guess what that will do is probably make this not work anymore. Okay, so this iPod just finished syncing. It took so long to sync the data that this iPod went from being at 0% charge to what looks like 75, maybe 80%. But an interesting note is that we have 1.23 gigabytes free. Okay, so I changed my mind. I decided instead I was going to sync every Michael Jackson song, or at least all the ones that I have. This is of course with the indispensable whatever, what's it called? The indispensable collection as well thrown in there. So that's 158 songs, and we also have the Escape, which was released after he died. We have 369.3 megabytes free. Now, an important thing to note is that I ended up disabling convert higher bitrate songs. So these are all 320 kilobits, so really high quality. I don't know if the Shuffle has an encoder that's capable of actually handling that high of quality, but because it was only taking up like 1.2 gigs with all this music, I decided that I'd just go ahead and crank it. This is 12 hours and 25 minutes of Michael Jackson. The thing to do now is to rename this something like Dirty Diana's iPod. Alright, so after using the iPod Shuffle for a day and a half as my only music player, here's my final verdicts. Straight up, this device in no way feels like an obsolete piece of technology, let alone one that Apple just dropped from their product line. If this product just came out, I would probably give it a very glowing review. The iPod Shuffle goes from being completely off to playing a song in less than a quarter of a second, and having all of your volume controls, skip controls, and play and pause right at your side is a great addition. In fact, I enjoyed using this device so much that I think I'm going to make it my primary music player for whenever I'm running or just walking around and wanting to listen to some tunes. I just find it a little sad that it took Apple killing it to actually make me interested in purchasing it. This should have not been the case. I should have been interested in this product all along. Alright, so if I'm so enthusiastic about the iPod Shuffle, why did it die? Well, this could be a variety of reasons. For one, when was the last time you saw an ad on the iPod Shuffle? When was the last time that it was updated? There's a lot of things going on here. The main one that I think what killed the iPod is this right here. The iPhone. But not just the iPhone. The primary way of listening to music these days is via some kind of online streaming, via either Spotify or Apple Music. Now I think this is actually what has caused the demise of the iPod. And let's face it, this device can't online stream. It doesn't even have Bluetooth capabilities. Some people, not having Bluetooth connectivity is a big issue. Even for me these days, I have slowly started to convert over to using Bluetooth headphones, simply because I don't have the wire moving around and catching on things. So I think the biggest reason might actually be because it never got updated with Bluetooth technology. How hard would it be to add Bluetooth functionality to this?